So here I am going to solve some previous year questions. So first question, dimensional formula for Hall coefficient is. So the option given here you can see. So the Hall coefficient, as we know, formula is given by ORH is equal to what? 1 divided by N into Q. So N is what? Ratio of number of particles to the volume. So if we substitute the dimensional formula here for volume and charge, then we will get here the option A, m naught L cube a to the power minus 1 t to the power 1. So this is the dimensional formula for Hall coefficient. So the next question here is, they have given vector A and vector B. So you have to take the derivative of their dot product. So first take the dot product of A into B, then you have to take here derivative. So if we follow these steps, we will get here option B. So once you get the dot product of A dot B, take the derivative. Finally you will get here answer 9t square minus 3 into cos theta plus 18t sin theta. So eigenvalues of matrix, just you have to multiply the diagonal elements. So if you multiply, that is will be cos square theta plus sin square theta. So you will have the Euler's equation here. So option 3, question number 3, option A, e to the power plus or minus I theta you will get. So the independent solution of the following equation. So here they have given the differential, second order differential equation. Just you should write down in terms of like d square minus 3 into d plus 2. Okay, then split into A plus B, A minus B formula. Or you can just take the eigenvalues here. You will get e to the power minus 2x and e to the power plus 2x or e to the power ex. Option B. So Laplace transform of cos ax. So you should read all the Laplace formulas. So cos ax is given by option A, s divided by s square plus a square. In a binomial distribution, values of mean and standard deviation are 9, root 6 respectively. Then the value of n and p respectively are. So here the binomial theorem, they have given here mean and standard deviation. If you put these values into formula, the option A, that is 27, 1 divided by 3. Which one of the following function is not analytic? So condition for analytical function I have explained in the previous video. So just go to that video. Then you can solve this question. Option 7 is option A is also correct and option B is also correct. Real part of z and z to the power minus 1. The probability that students get unannounced test during any class is 1 divided by 5. If a student is absent twice, then the probability that the student missing at least one test is. So option here. So the probability they have given 1 divided by 5 that students get announced test in the class. student is absent twice, then the probability that the student misses at least one test is that would be option 8(1)D, 9 divided by 20. If the forces acting on a particle are conservative, then which of the following quantity is conserved? So ninth one, option A, total energy. For circular and parabolic orbits in an attractive 1 divided by r potential having the same angular momentum, perihelion distance of parabola is, that is option C, half the radius of circle. Lagrangian for a compound pendulum is, so this is the derived equation, option B, 1/2 I theta dot square plus mgl cos theta. Hamiltonian canonical equation of motion are 12, option B, q I dot is equal to dou h by dou pi and pi dot is equal to minus dou h by dou q I. So these equations are many times they have asked, when the body is constrained so as to rotate only about a fixed axis, then momentum of inertia is, option C, that is going to be constant. So the rest mass of an electron is m naught. When it moves with the velocity 0.6 c, then its mass is, so relativistic mass formula is what, m equal to m naught by root of what, 1 minus v square divided by c square. So you have to put the values value 0.6c into the formula, then you will finally get option B here, 5 divided by 4 m naught. A cylinder rolling without slipping down a rough inclined plane of angle theta is an example of, option B, scleronormous holonomic conservative system. Del square V is equal to minus 4 pi rho represents, option 16 is Poisson's equation. A point charge q is at a distance d from a conducting plane. The energy required to move the charge to infinitely away from the plane is, so that is point charge. So option A, minus q square divided by 4. The Poynting theorem is a law of conservation of energy, momentum, orbital angular momentum, spin angular momentum. Option A, conservation of energy. A uniform current I is flowing along the surface of a hollow conducting cylinder of radius A parallel to its axis. The magnetic induction inside the cylinder is, option C, that is going to be 0. The gain of the op-amp circuit given below. So here it is like inverting amplifier. So the gain would be negative. It is about minus 8. A 4-bit triple counter consists flip-flops such that each has a propagation delay from clock to capital Q output of 12 nanosecond. For the counter to recycle from 1 1 1 to 0 0, it will take a total time of, option, it is about 48 nanoseconds. An electromagnetic wave is to pass through an interface separating two media having dielectric constants epsilon 1 equal to epsilon 2 respectively. And if epsilon 1 is equal to 4 epsilon 2, the wave will be totally reflected if angle of incidence is option B about 30 degree. In the case of fields of arbitrary moving charges, the magnetic field vector is such that vector B is equal to n cross E divided by C. An electromagnetic wave is free space has a wavelength 0.2 meter. When this wave enters in a perfect dielectric mu r equal to 1, its velocity becomes 2 into 10 to the power 8 meters second. Its wavelength in the dielectric media will be option C 0.3 meter. An electron has a speed of 500 meter per second within the accuracy of 0.001%. The uncertainty in the position of the electron is according to this uncertainty principle option C 0.023 meter. The expectation value of potential energy of a linear harmonic oscillator is option A half into n plus half h cross omega. Which of the following states has eigenfunction for hydrogen atom as? So this is equation for eigenstates of 2p state. The electron of hydrogen atom is in the ground state. The expectation value of R is option C 3 divided by 2 A naught. The value of sigma square is sum of is equal to this value is option C 3 divided by 4 h cross square. Spin angular momentum. A system has two energy levels of 0 and 100 kb with degeneracy 2 and 3 respectively. The partition function at the temperature of 100 K is 7.104. In grand canonical ensemble, a system of A of fixed volume is contact with large reservoir B, then 31 option D A can exchange both particles and energy with B. In the variation principle, if a wave function psi of an eigenstate differs from the ground state wave function psi naught by epsilon, then its energy E differs from ground state energy E naught by B, that is epsilon square. A thermodynamic change takes place in such a way that the entropy either decreases or remains constant. This statement is option A, that is not true. Lambda point transition in liquid helium during Bose-Einstein condensation occurs at D 2.19 Kelvin. 34 is option D. An excited nucleus D excites wave transition among three levels of energy. If the rate of E1 to E2 transition is equal to that of E2 to E3 transition and a corresponding matrix elements are in the ratio 1:2, the ratio of density of states is B 1:2. A sinusoidal input voltage V in of frequency W is fed to circuit shown in figure. If this capacitance C1 is greater than C2, is the peak value of the input voltage, the output V0 is option A 2 into Vm. Lambda m for scalar radiation is 4753 angstrom, then the temperature of the photosphere of sun will be So it is 6100 Kelvin. A 16-bit address bus of microprocessor can support a memory size of option C 65536. A dual slope analog ADC uses 39 option C an integrator. In a thermodynamic system at equilibrium, heat can be partially converted into work, while the work can be completely converted to heat. This statement is 40 option C. Second law of thermodynamics. The data given below x and y according to method of least square fitting straight line fit for the data is option A y is equal to 1 plus x divided by 2. In a gas, expansion for the average speed of molecule is given by, this is a grace mark. Two ends of a rod are kept at 127 degrees Celsius and 227 degrees Celsius. When 2000 calorie of heat flows in the rod, then the change of entropy is B 20 calorie per Kelvin. In a classical microcanonical ensemble for system of n non-interacting particles, the fundamental volume in phase space which is regarded as equivalent to one state is 44 option A h to the power 3. In an experiment, the acceleration due to gravity g is determined by measuring the time period of the simple pendulum. If there is an error of 1% in the measurement of time period, the error in the g is, it is A 2%. A modulus 12 counter must have 4 flip-flops. A 8-bit serial in serial output shift register is used for a time delay of 24 microseconds. The clock frequency applied to flip-flop is B 333 kHz. GK flip-flop J equal to 1, K equal to 1 as a 10 kHz clock input. The Q output is a 10 kHz square wave. Gauge transforms of A and phi satisfies Lorentz conditions if and only if the gauge function themselves satisfy wave equation. A program assesses 10 continuous memory locations. The microprocessor will take the less time if addressing mode and ease, that is direct.